Thank you. Now I request Dr. Upendradhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, to virtually welcome our chief guest, Dr. G.S. Vajpayee, Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law. I again request Vice Chancellor and FDP Convener, FDP Advisor to virtually welcome resource persons of the program. Thank you. It's the duty of the navigator to sail us through the ocean. Now, let us have the pleasure of listening of the remark of respected Dr. M.P. Gautam about FDP. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Swati. Good morning, everyone. We are honored to have respected Dr. G.S. Vajpayee, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Patiala, Punjab, and Dr. Upendradhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, with us. To begin, we would like to thank Dr. Vajpayee for accepting our invitation, and also I am thankful to Dr. Upendradhar sir for suggesting a very relevant topic for SDP, that is recent advances in criminal justice system. We all know that the criminal justice system, which consists of the police, courts, and corrections, was formed in order to provide justice for all. Basically, this system is responsible for protecting the innocent, convicting criminals, and providing a fair justice system to aid in the maintenance of national order. In fact, the primary goal of the criminal justice administration is to preserve and defend the rule of law through the judicial system, as well as to provide comfort to the crime victims. Now, nobody can deny this fact. If the criminal justice system and all those who work within it did not exist, there could be havoc, violence, theft, and danger everywhere. Thus, the role of criminal justice system is very much significant for societies and nations. Therefore, it should be extremely efficient and effective at all times. As a result, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Sciences, Sri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, has selected a very relevant topic. Actually, the concern of educational institutions and their faculty is to produce the well-rounded citizens, maybe students, administrators, police officers, and so on. The most important factor in providing professional education and competency in any educational organization is faculty vitality. It has long been assumed that increasing faculty vitality can significantly improve the educational environment and student academic progress. Without any doubt, the faculty development program is a stand-alone educational approach for strengthening faculty knowledge and professional abilities. This faculty development program is intended to improve the faculty's teaching and other skills, moreover, to enlighten them on modern teaching tools and methodologies. Within these 5 days, 10 learned speakers will share their knowledge, and I am confident that this FDP will provide an opportunity to learn about the current technology development in relevant fields like correctional justice, advancement in criminal justice system, forensic psychology, odontology, molecular biology, and admissibility of digital evidences, wildlife forensics, and medical ethics. Lastly, I hope this program will not only promote professional practices, but it will also motivate faculty to create a competitive teaching and learning environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for briefing us about the importance of theme of FDP. A man of distinct vision and a fountainhead of illuminating ideas, an idol of knowledge and experience, and inspiration to all of us. May I now request Dr. Upendra to address the August gathering. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to all of you. At the outset, I would like to welcome Professor G.S. Bajpai, Chief Guest for this inaugural session. My old colleague, Dr. Abbas Singh, we have worked together at MIT University a few years back. All other resource persons who have joined this inaugural session, Professor M.P. Gautam, Dr. Swati, and all other colleagues, and of course, the delegates for this faculty development program. As mentioned by Dr. Gautam, faculty development has to be a continuous process. Unless efforts are made to develop faculty continuously, transfer of knowledge from faculty to students cannot happen. Our National Education Policy 2020 has also very significantly stressed on the importance of faculty development. I'm happy to share that we had started this series of faculty development programs in all disciplines right from 2016. I would also like to congratulate the organizing team for choosing a very appropriate theme, which is very topical for this year's faculty development program. As we know that advancements in the last 20 or 25 years have provided law enforcement professionals with technologies that not only make their jobs easier, but also keep them safe at the same time. While this list could be endless, there are so many advancements which have happened, and we have seen the applications of these technologies. There are some specific technologies which I would like to mention, which have application in the enforcement system. Say if we take data mapping first. The trend of data mapping isn't new. In fact, weather and climate scientists have been doing it for decades. However, criminal justice professionals are also data mapping now, providing police departments with a clear geographical look at the types of crime or the types of crime and the volume of crime that happens in an area, in a particular area. The area can be pinpointed. This is beneficial to law enforcement because it shows trends that may be able to be traced back to certain locations. Drug rings are a prime example of how data mapping can be useful to the police. It also helps the police pinpoint problems in a community and allows them to strategize effectively to help reduce crime. This is one application so far as mapping is concerned. Another application that can be discussed about is the smartphone tracking. While there is some debate about when and how smartphone tracking should be utilized by law enforcement, the ability to track a criminal through the use of their smartphone is an incredible advancement in technology. This technology, when accessed, through legal channels can provide law enforcement with a clear picture of a suspect's movements before, during, and after a crime. For those innocent of the crime they are accused of, the technology can save them from a criminal trial. For those who are guilty, the tracking capability of this common object can seal their fate. Third technology which can be taken, which has the application, very, very large application, is social media. Social media has had a large impact on law enforcement. Many law enforcement agencies and police departments have dedicated social media accounts on various platforms, enabling them to engage with their communities and act on tips in real time. This has become invaluable for solving crimes because it enables the police or other law enforcement agencies to get up to the minute information on an ongoing crime or a recent crime simply by paying attention to their social media feeds. It is also useful for gauging how a community feels about their interactions with the police. It is now clear that having direct engagement with law enforcement builds trust, enabling victims and witnesses to come forward with information on crimes. Fourth application that can be talked about is surveillance and Wi-Fi capabilities. Surveillance advancements, which are aided by Wi-Fi, may actually deter repeat criminal behavior. Repeat criminal behavior can be deterred by using the surveillance. The idea is that by restricting convicted criminals to their home, law enforcement can free up prison space and make it easier for criminals to be rehabilitated in their own community. This, of course, is limited to non-violent offenders and would be of immense benefit to drug offenders. The technology would go hand in hand with the rehabilitation and counseling. This is a technology that is being rolled out in small ways throughout the country, but it has the ability to become a part of the criminal justice field or criminal justice system in a way that benefits both the offender and the law enforcement officials who are trying to reduce repeat criminal behavior. Fifthly, I will not take a long time because all of us are waiting to hear our Professor Vajpayee, but one more application I would like to share, that is biometrics. Biometrics is the technology that enables people to unlock their smartphones with a fingerprint or an iris scan. This technology has been around for decades, but only recently has it become accessible to the public. The criminal justice field has now taken this technology and created smaller identification devices that make it possible to spot criminals with past records without having to wait for a process that could take weeks or months. That's what traditionally it has been happening, but it is being done in a small way at present in the country, but it has scope to grow. These handheld devices can be used at a crime scene to collect digital fingerprints and then used on witnesses to see if a perpetrator is still at the scene of a crime. Technology continues to improve law enforcement, and in turn, the relationship between law enforcement officers and the communities they serve. By providing various ways of dealing with crime, technology has made communities safer places to live and work in. With more advancements on the horizon, technology will continue to play a large role, very significant role, to how the criminal justice field or the criminal justice system will look in the years to come. As a society grows from developing society to developed society, interestingly, it has been found that crime does not go. Crime still grows. If earlier it was, say, in a developing world, crimes are of one kind, but in the developed world, crimes may be more sophisticated. More sophisticated ways may be used by the criminals. Therefore, crime stays, but the role of criminal justice system is to see to it that how it can be controlled, how innocent people can be protected, and how technology can be used. Because we have seen that with the development, as I said in the beginning, in last 20 to 25 years, technology has come to our rescue. Even during COVID period, we have seen the technology coming to rescue in a great way. So technology, application of technology has a great scope in defending the societies and controlling the criminals. And at the same time, reforming, it can also be used as a reforming tool. It can help us in building the system to reform and rehabilitate the erstwhile criminals. So with these words, I would once again welcome Professor Bajpai, Professor Abbas Singh, and all other resource persons to this FDP, which is a regular feature in our university. And I'm sure that all of us will learn by the end of this program, which will be over on 27th of this month. So it's a 1 week faculty development program. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing profound knowledge with us. Keep a sight on the unlimited dream, but also plan out short-term targets. It's the best way of ensuring that you are always on the move and not stagnating. Make every day count. It's a matter of immense pleasure and pride to introduce such a never-weary personality. Dr. G.S. Bajpai is the Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Punjab, equipped with more than 30 years of professional experience as an author, researcher, teacher, and administrator. He has previously served as Registrar of National Law University, Delhi. He has also served as Professor of Criminology and Criminal Justice, Chair Professor at K.L. Arora, Chair in Criminal Law, as well as the Chairperson of the Center for Criminology and Victimology at National Law University, Delhi. Prior to the same, he has served as Professor and Chairperson at the Center for Criminal Justice Administration. He has also had positions at the Indian Institute of Public Administration, Bureau of Police Research and Development, Punjab Police Academy, and Department of Criminology and Forensic Science, Dr. Hari Singh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. As many as 12 students have already completed doctoral degree under his supervision. In addition to a master's specialization in criminology and criminal justice, he holds a doctorate in victimology and a postdoctorate in criminal justice from Leicester University, UK, as Commonwealth Fellow at the Department of Criminology. He has been appointed as convener, Committee for Reform in Criminal Law, set up by the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. He is a member of many boards like the Advisory Board of Development of Legal Education and Legal Profession of the Bar Council of India, Standing Committee of Legal Education, Committee of Bar Council of India, Indian Association of Social Sciences Institution, Expert Committee of the UGC to frame guidelines for introduction to course on law for holistic and multidisciplinary education, etc. Professor Bajpai has authored 21 books, monogram, and more than 50 papers, around 70 op-eds in the leading dailies like Indian Express, The Hindu, The Tribune. His recent publication, Fast Track Court in India, Promise and Performance, published by Satyam Law International, is an empirical evaluation of the functioning of Fast Track Court in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, and Delhi. He's the editor of prestigious international journal. At the instant of Honorable High Court of Delhi, he was appointed as amicus curiae for the Bablu Chauhan versus State Government of NCT of Delhi, Karan versus State NCT of Delhi, Sunil Tyagi versus State Government of NCT of Delhi. Notably, Professor Bajpayee is credited to have evolved the concept of wrongful prosecution in the Indian context. Professor Bajpayee has been conferred various awards and honors for consistent high-quality research. He is a recipient of G.B. Pant Award for his book on human rights and police. In recognition of his contribution to the growth of criminology in India, Dr. Bajpayee was conferred the title of Fellow of the Indian Society of Criminology by Indian Society of Criminology. Professor Bajpayee is the Secretary General of the World Society of Victimology. He is the first Indian to be elected as Secretary General of the WSV. Professor Bajpayee worked as the co-principal investigator of the MHRD UGC EPG Pathshala project and led the creation of online e-text and video lectures on 367 modules of 15 papers of PG level course in law. He has also completed EPG Pathshala project on criminology as principal investigator, where he led the creation of 350 e-text and a similar number of video lectures for 12 postgraduate level paper on the subject of criminology. He worked as principal investigator to lead the creation of massive open online courses for various subjects in law, where thousands of learners have got benefited from these courses. Professor Bajpayee has had many prestigious international assignments for advancement in criminal law and criminal justice. He has been the University of Paris under UGC Indo-French Cultural Exchange Program to the victim position in French criminal justice system. He was also selected under Indo-Russian Cultural Exchange Program to visit St. Petersburg, etc. There is much more to tell about him, but we all are eager to listen from him. So now I request Dr. Bajpayee to address the August gathering. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, all. My greetings to and thanks to the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upinder Dhar, and Professor MP Gautam, and of course, Dr. Swati, the faculty members of Vaishnav Vidyapeeth, all the delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here today, especially the reason is that this theme is extremely important. And as it is generally said that the criminal justice is considered to be the barometer of the civilization in any society. So in that sense, criminal justice system is also an aspiration of a progressive society. It is not simply a tool to regulate crime. It is a very important tool to ensure a peaceful law and order, thereby contributing to the growth and development in the community. Linking criminal justice system with the development and sustainable development, peace and order is very, very important. I would like to stress that there is a need to move away from the instrumental objectives of criminal justice system to more sustainable objectives of criminal justice system. Because the immediate need is to regulate criminal, but regulating criminal is an instrumental objective. As I've said, it is very important research is going on in many places where they are linking the state of justice with the state of development. If you look at the important contribution of the World Justice Project, and they are ranking the countries on the index of justice, on the index of rule of law. So development cannot be isolatedly seen without bringing criminal justice system into consideration. More recently, very important, all of us know, a report was tabled on, I think 4 reports have been published on happiness index. Nobody on the earth could imagine at that point of time that happiness is also the function of criminal justice system. I have researched this subject and wrote a very lengthy research paper linking the fact that the performance of criminal justice system has severe implications to the state of happiness in a society. If you look at the index of happiness in developed countries or in the countries where crime rate is very low. So for instance, in Scandinavian countries, they register very high on the index of happiness, but they are also those countries where the crime rate has been very low and public satisfaction to the criminal justice system is very high. Therefore, it is the time to enlarge the understanding of criminal justice system in terms of contributing to the growth, sustainable development, and happiness and good governance. These are the important dimensions to be achieved by the criminal justice instrumentalities in this country. I have a number of things to share. However, I would just try to draw my experiences working on the Committee of Criminal Law Reform as Member Secretary. We have recently submitted the report to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Why I'm discussing this? Because it is important for us to understand the roadmap of criminal justice in this country and the kind of changes which are supposed to be there, are supposed to be taking place. We need to be, cognizant of them. When this task came to us, we know that the state of criminal justice in our country is very fluid. And you will invariably see that there are anxieties and concerns of the people across the country with respect to the functioning of the police, prosecution, prison, and all other organs of the system. And in fact, I wanted to refer that today's newspaper, most newspaper, including Indian Express, Hindu, they have op-eds focusing on Bilkis Bano matter. And Indian Express carries a very, sharp article on Bilkis Bano movement. I'm saying criminal justice system is always in national debate. And they are expressing the concern in the manner in which 11 convicts responsible for Bilkis Bano rape have been given remission by the government of Gujarat. A hue and cry has been created. And people, I'm happy that people at large are now reacting to the affairs of criminal justice in this country. Criminal justice is becoming a matter of public concern. This is a good beginning for a country like India, because otherwise it was considered to be the idea only with the judges, with the prosecutor. But I say justice is too important to be left to the courts and police. It has to be taken to the people. And therefore, Bilkis Bano case has shaken the conscience. Time and again, our conscience is shaken. And therefore, we become activated for criminal justice reforms. So history of criminal reform in this country is the history of public reactions with respect to so many cases. If you remember, Bhauri Devi happened, Mathura rape case happened, then Delhi gang rape happened. And all the 3 occasions we brought out number of criminal justice reforms, as if we wait for something big to happen to be able to introduce those changes which are required in the criminal justice system. So I was trying to say that we have perhaps forgotten the fact that criminal law is a public law. Criminal justice system is a public duty. So when I was working on this committee, I have no hesitation to reveal that no less than the Union Home Minister wanted us to provide the perspective of criminal law and criminal justice reform, I said criminal justice system must function on certain principles. Our clarity with regard to those principles is very important, because there has to be a consensus on the principle. Because if we are lacking consensus on those eternal principles which inform the performance of criminal justice system, then there would be a chaos. And it is in fact happening, because we are forgetting those principled stances. We are moving to achieve those instrumental objectives which are very, very immediate. So therefore, I said there are as many as 11 principles which we have formulated. They are available on the website of criminal justice, criminallawreform.in. And if you see, I said the primacy of the Constitution is the first principle. Because in this country, there are a lot of debates, a lot of conflict on everything. But perhaps there is a full consensus on the primacy of the Constitution. So as long as criminal justice and criminal laws conform to the ideals of Constitution, there will not be an issue. Second, primacy of the human right. Criminal laws and criminal justice system has been vested with the powers to the police to interfere with those fundamental rights which are primary to the existence of the individual. There is only one law which can interfere: the right to life, right to freedom, and everything else. But primacy of the human right has to be kept in view. And third, which is very important, and in the garb of complexities of criminal justice system, a lot of excesses and abuses are performed and conducted. So I say simplified, unambiguous, and consistent procedure. This is the aspiration. This is aspirational. All technology, so many things we can talk about in terms, because this focus of FDP is on advancement. But advancements have to be informed by the principles. Hope you are knowing the Criminal Procedure Identification Act now 2022, which provided the police powers to take measurements. There was a lot of debate and discussion whether data thus collected by sample of body fluid, sample of all kinds, will not be misused. We are therefore bringing in a Data Protection Act, because we should not forget that in Puttaswamy case, the Supreme Court has provided us a fundamental right to privacy. So now criminal laws and criminal justice has to perform in keeping these rights in mind. Then fair and time-bound investigation. This is now all efforts are now being geared to achieve. Whether can we do? You know, very recently a person was acquitted after 27 years. Adam Bhai in Gujarat, who was arrested in connection with Akshardham case, was found not guilty after 11 years. Because in this country, probably the value to human being is lessening and institutions are taking prominence over individuals. We have created a system where we have probably removed the individual from the scene. And like, for instance, I said, let me complete these principles and I'll come back. So fair and time-bound trial. Then I also talk the transparency and accountability. These are very important. Victim justice, justice to crime victim. I'll come back to the point. But I wish to say that before all recent Supreme Court judgments on Puttaswamy, on the marital issues, now the LGBT issues, so many judgments came. There is a subtle distinction that you can easily notice, that criminal law in most countries was created to protect the interest of the state. The state was kept on the driving seat. The state has a monopoly to punish people. But in 21st century, governed and guided by constitutional democracy, we are talking about the supremacy, the primacy of the individual in the criminal justice system. Because if you focus the individual in the criminal justice system, you will talk about the rights and entitlement of the individual. So that is very, very important. Second, we need to choose between two important things. America has done this choice and they have landed in huge crisis and they are now resuming back. So what was the position? We have two choices in criminal justice. One is called due process model. Other is called crime control model. Due process model is idealistic in nature, where we say that the system will function according to the laws of the country. Due process entitlement shall be granted to the parties and everyone. However, the other model, which is crime control model, is a practical side of the issue, which says that by hook or by crook, we have to control the crime. At times you feel that the system is effective because it is controlling the crime, but it ends up violating human rights of lots of people, because people will be picked up, they would be tortured, confession will be extracted, and a lot of things will happen. Your idea, your intention may be right, but your method is objectionable. So we need to make a special choice, because we think a strong criminal justice system always leads to a better law and order situation. Please go to the researches and you will find the result quite contrary. There is a phenomenal book by Tyler. He wrote When People Obey the Law. And he has come on the conclusion that it is not the toughness of the system which functions. It is the credibility of the system which functions. In America, they have toughened the system, but lost the credibility. Therefore, crime could not be controlled. Now they are trying to regain the credibility of the system. So people at large are more likely to obey the law when they have faith in the authority. They have reasons to believe that the system would function impartially. I'm telling you these things because we are talking about the principles. I'm also saying these things that we have been conditioned to see crime from the lenses of the state for a long, long time. Because what constitutes crime is decided by the state. And we are shown a picture that, look, this is the crime. So crime is first created, then shown. I'm saying for too long we have been conditioned to see crime from the lenses of the state. And state construction of crime has got a variety of issues, because the state has its own anxieties. They have to regulate the people. The police came into being to regulate the people, not for the welfare of the people. Now similar things are happening. There is a hue and cry even at the moment in the country, where people at large are apprehending, or they are thinking that the state agencies are misused. I don't know the fact. I'm saying there is apprehension that laws are being misused to regulate the people. However, I am saying it is very important to make this law from being the state law to make a public law, a people's law, people's criminal justice system. People do not have any participation in criminal justice system. That is the whole problem. Because now through media, a lot of people are reacting. As I said, this is the Bilkis Bano movement in criminal justice system. Indian Express said today very beautifully. Bilkis Bano movement in criminal justice system, where people are, being made aware that what are the compulsion of a state to provide or to give remission to 11 convicted who have committed a gruesome murder of Bilkis Bano, along with her rape and the murder of 5-6-year-old girl child. Huge, dissatisfaction. Now, to me, the quality of criminal justice system should be gazed on the basis of the manner in which it responds to the poor, to the disadvantaged section, to the vulnerable section, to the victims of crime, and the extent to which it is able to restore the harm done to the people. So choice is whether punitive and retributive system are to have a restorative and reformative system. I am telling you, I keep myself engaged in such discourses very often, and time and again, we try to look at whether criminal justice and criminal law has any mechanism to heal the broken relationship. So crime essentially results into the relationship broken, irrespective of what court does, irrespective of what criminal justice system does. We do not have any mechanism to restore the broken relationship or heal the sufferings of the people. Can criminal justice system have a healing effect? Because lawyers and others have interest in perpetuating the conflict in the society. They do not want the conflict to be subsided and to be restored. They want the conflict to be perpetuated and aggravated. So litigation leads to conflict, and conflict leads to disorder, and vicious cycle continues. And it is therefore time to look for the options like happiness, development, restoration, reformation, forgiveness. In a country like America, they are saying 60–70% people you have lost in jail who are from weaker section and all that. They are just counting their time. These national resources are wasted. Do you have any alternative mechanism to deal with your own citizen? Let them be punished, let them be condemned. Nobody is saying they should. But there are multiple mechanisms to actually address these things, because suppression doesn't always lead to restoration. And therefore, I'm saying, for instance, lately we have started paying attention to the victims of crime, since this program is focused on recent advancement. If you see in Ashish Mishra case, where that Tenny's son, who has reportedly run down a person, the case could not be heard in UP. Case came before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, you cannot be given bail until we hear the victim of crime. Victim of crime has a participatory right. We have never allowed the victim of crime to provide the same status, because we have not created any space for the victims of crime in the criminal justice system. Victim has been marginalized all along in the criminal justice process. And therefore, it is very important to balance the rights of victim vis-a-vis the accused rights. Now, lately, we have also seen a lot of changes in prison, because prison is also a very important system through which we try to react and respond to wrongdoing. But what is happening in prison, we all are knowing. Prison, mostly, I would say not 100%, but system is failing very badly, because we don't know what to do with these criminals. Because in terms of punishment, we have only devised a way that if you have done something wrong, you should be sent to the jail. But what you are doing in jail, after 2 years, 3 years, you are coming out from the prison becoming more hardened criminal. So the objective of prisons have failed. Justice Lokur, in his famous judgment, he has expressed the anxieties. And therefore, I find that this is the time to humanize criminal justice system more and more. It is the time to infuse more and more technology centricity in the criminal justice system. Dr. Upinder was mentioning various techniques which have been introduced. In fact, even the artificial intelligence is coming in a big way in resolving a number of issues which are related to the performance of the criminal justice system. I can imagine that a lot of work of the criminal justice system in future, in next 10 years, in fact, is going to be handled and delivered and executed by some AI-driven, instrumentalities. I don't know what are going to be the implications, but certainly in many countries, this issue is causing a lot of concerns. Like, for instance, if there is a driverless car, and who is going to be liable in case of any particular accident or any mishappening whatsoever. So AI and liability questions are going to be very important. Robotics is going to be very, very important. Crime in metaverse are going to be very, very virtual realities. A person can be here, but the person can also be in New York or in Laos or in so many other places. So how the nations will deal with these complexities in case any criminal activities is, committed during. So at the moment, like European Union has come out with a lot of regulatory. Now India is still groping. So technology is going to be facilitating as well as, impeding factor. So these things and these challenges are very new. And I always say that we are facing the threat of cybersecurity. Our systems, critical information infrastructures are becoming vulnerable. But we are probably unable to address them because our systems were never created to deal with these kinds of changes. So therefore, they need to be replaced with a lot of technologically advanced system. And some of these ideas, and last but not least, the gender issue is creating a lot of issues. And the courts in the recent past have become very conscious of this particular fact, how the gender relationship should, prevail in the functioning of the criminal justice system. And a lot of issues pertaining to these are coming up. And I'm sure the participant in this gathering will pay enough attention. But I would stress that let us not be in a kind of bull gathering sort of a state where we think and we think only, provided this is time to look at the important researches which are now being carried out in the criminal justice arena, which are talking about a lot of new practices, new alternatives, alternative paradigms. They need to be captured, need to be shared, discussed, and applied to be able to bring those much needed change in the criminal justice system. Because we know that the criminal justice system inherently conservative, and any discussion with respect to change and innovation in this system is resisted, if not opposed. Therefore, a lot of responsibility lies on the criminologists, forensic scientists, thinkers to develop those models, because this is the era of startups and entrepreneurship. And I could see in my university, a lot of students are bringing solutions through legal startups, through entrepreneurship. And these things give a lot of hope to us. So I know this discussion can prolong a lot, but I know the limitations of time. I again, extend my sincere thanks to the Vaishnav Vidyapeeth and its Vice Chancellor, Dr. Binderdhar, my dear senior friend, Dr. M.P. Gautam Dhab, and Dr. Swati, and all the colleagues who have invited me. Thank you so much for your invitation and this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your great knowledge with us. You have set the warm tone for our program. Gratitude makes sense of our past, bring peace for today, and create a vision for tomorrow. I invite Dr. Ashutosh Shukla, convener FDP and coordinator SBIFS, to propose words of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, madam. Good morning to all dignitaries present here. First of all, my heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Honorable G.S. Vajpayee sir, for sparing valuable time and also enlightening us with the words of wisdom. Sir, definitely you have highlighted very important things. That is, you have discussed various cases also, and the importance of criminal justice system. I am highly thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Upender Dhar, for sparing valuable time. Other HOIs of the institute, Dr. Abha Singh Madam, other guests, and the eminent speakers of the FDPs. I am highly thankful to all of you, and definitely today's deliberation of Dr. Vajpayee, it will open a new vistas towards this recent advancements in criminal justice system at all. Similarly, in advance, I tender my thanks to all eminent speakers who will be deliberating different topics, covering different topics of our forensics and enlightening the knowledge of our participants. And at the end of the day, all our participants, I am sure all our participants, they will have something in their hand, a basket of knowledge, and also it will open new vistas in this field. Again, thanks to all. Thanks to our technical team also. Thanks a lot, madam. Namaskar, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I request all of you to please raise for national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you everyone for gracing the
Thank you.
occasion.
Thank you.
Now, I request all the participants to may remain connected. We'll start our first session after a short break at 11:15.
स्वाति कितने मिनट का समय है?
Sir, after 10 minutes we'll start.
ठीक ठीक ठीक
I have taken permission from the madam, Dr. Abha.
ठीक, तो अभी बंद कर दूं?
Yes, sir.